Good evening and welcome to Prime Business. My name is Winston Take. Now to our first business story. Expect prices of some foodstuff in the market to start dropping by some significant margin from next month. This is the strong performance and pick up in production for that grain, which will start impacting the market from next month. The sector, for the first time in a long time, posted the highest growth of 6.6%. This is the highest posted by any of the sectors for the first 3 months of this year. Edward Carraway is a former General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union.
Well, it takes time for major sectors like this, when they begin to recover, to bring about the effect that will go with it. You know, it's like when you plant, you increase your production. You cannot immediately benefit from the output, but it will be realized in the future. So the impact on prices would soon come, but around this time, June, July, you will now begin to see prices will come down. And mind you, prices of foodstuffs is not only mainly about fiscal production. It also has to do with other linkages, which people would link it to the city-dollar relationship and so on. Now that all those factors are being aligned, then certainly if you go to the marketplace, prices will begin to come down.
Now moving on, IMF has described as prudent decision by government to increase the energy sector levy on each litre of petroleum products. The president last week approved a bill seeking to place 1 cedi on each litre of petrol. The move was part of efforts to deal with challenges in purchasing fuel for power production. But speaking at a news conference in Washington, D.C., Director of Communication Julie Kazok noted that they are excited about the impact checking the sector's debt.
As we look at a program, we look at all of these developments, including, of course, developments in the exchange rate. And so future program reviews will provide an opportunity for the team to carefully assess all of the evolving macroeconomic and financial conditions, including exchange rate movements, and to ensure that the program's targets and objectives remain appropriate and achievable. And on the fuel levy, what I can say is that this is a new measure that will help generate additional resources to tackle the challenges in Ghana's energy sector, and it's also going to bolster Ghana's ability to deliver on the fiscal objectives under the program.
The Collateral Registry at the Bank of Ghana has called for specialized courts to speedily attend to issues of defaulting borrowers. So according to them, the existing civil procedures is time-consuming and often affect the value of collateral securities by the time of judgment. Here is more from the Stakeholders Forum organized to mark the 15th anniversary of the Collateral Registry.
It's the Stakeholders Forum, panelists comprising regulators, lenders, borrowers, and legal practitioners called for robust reforms to improve credit risk management in the country. The Bank of Ghana was urged to update the collateral registry to highlight defaulting borrowers and frequently used collaterals, which would help reduce the rate of non-performing loans. Dr. Benjamin Osei-Tutu, Deputy Senior Manager at the Bank of Ghana, appealed to the judiciary to establish specialized courts to expedite cases involving defaulting borrowers.
Once any borrower finds a way to bring them back to the court, the issues are sustained, and unfortunately, they stay in court for so long, using the old civil procedure rules to prosecute the issues brought before them, which in the first place should not have been there. And so again, until such time, and some of the things Mr. Siama and his team are looking forward to do, is to refine the recourse mechanisms in the framework, so that even if, for some strange reasons, an extrajudicial enforcement would have to end up in court, the court would deal with the matters expeditiously. And perhaps, I suppose, we can even set up borrowers and lenders court, applying these specially crafted rules.
Meanwhile, the head of registry, Fred Esiama Crankton, emphasized the need for industry collaborations to ensure robust credit management landscape.
I urge all attendees to actively participate in today's discussions with a view to contributing to fashion a more robust secure transactions framework for the country, and also ensure that the collateral registry continues to play a vital role in promoting a secure and reliable lending environment. Let's harness the momentum from this celebration to drive progress and innovation in the next 5 years.
The panel discussion focused on strategies for improving secure transactions and enforcement regimes.
Now moving on, Ecobank Ghana PLC has announced a dividend payment of 34 pesos per share for all eligible shareholders, reflecting the bank's strong financial performance in the past year. At the bank's 2025 annual general meeting, board chairman Samuel Ashite Ejay attributed the impressive results to resilient operational strategies. The bank recorded revenue of 5.4 billion Ghana cedis, with a profit before tax reaching 2.4 billion, a 139.3% year-on-year increase. There is more in this report.
Ghana PLC ended 2024 posting a revenue of 5.4 billion Ghana cedis, while profits before tax hit 2.4 billion Ghana cedis, indicating a 139.3% increase year-on-year. The bank also grew its total assets by 36.7% to reach 46 billion Ghana cedis, while the bank's overall capital adequacy ratio stood at 17.03% against a regulatory minimum requirement of 10% at the end of 2024. According to the board chairman of the bank, Samuel Ashite Ejay, the stellar performance is as a result of sustainability measures and cost-saving initiatives.
The bank delivered consistent quarterly performance and recorded robust full-year results, maintaining our strong position in the market as market leaders. We entered the year with a clear focus on enhancing profitability, managing risk prudently, and amplifying our positive impact on society. The board is convinced that the present strategy has resulted in clearly demonstrable improvements in qualitative parameters and our financial indicators. Our strong revenue-generating capacity was evident in total revenue of 5.4 billion cedis, driven primarily by increases in net interest income and fee-based income.
Managing Director of the bank, Abena Osei Poku, indicated that with the recovery of the economy, the bank is hoping to deliver strong results and growth in 2025.
Your concern about the dividend, your expectation is that we pay more going forward, and we'll work together, as a bank to ensure, that we are able to pay more next year. What we did end of last year, and you begin to see the results shortly, is that we have actually restructured these subsidiaries that you spoke about. We have looked at, one, the structure. We've also looked at the leadership team, and we've also looked at the strategy and the execution. So we are also very confident that going forward, we'll begin to see these subsidiaries contribute more than what it has been previously.
Ecobank Ghana invested approximately 2.2 million Ghana cedis in 4 educational institutions as part of its corporate social responsibility.
Meanwhile, the Minister for Transport, Joseph Bukari Nikwe, has assured that government will allocate resources to complete the runway extension project of the Prempeh the First International Airport in Kumasi by the end of this year. The completion of the extension project will allow some international aircraft to land in Kumasi safely. Speaking to Joy Business at a stakeholders breakfast meeting organized by the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, Mr. Nikpe said the project is a priority to the government.
Kumasi Airport runway. We have a beautiful terminal in Kumasi. Everything is okay, except that the runway is a little bit short for some of the medium body aircraft. And currently we have the runway space up to 1,881. We want to improve it or want to increase it from that to 2,320 meters. With that, any flight that is coming from long distance and the medium body aircrafts will be able to use the facility. We are very hopeful that by end of this year, the runway would have been completed and will be put to use.
As government prepares to launch the 24-hour economy policy next month, some state institutions are already setting the pace, with TDC Ghana Limited in Tema being the latest to do so. TDC's adoption of a 24-hour operational model for selected services is expected to enhance efficiency, generate jobs, and contribute to reducing Ghana's housing deficit of 1.8 million units. Managing Director of TDC Ghana Limited, Courage Nusive says the new direction positions the company to compete globally.
The 24-hour prestige and premium client services by TDC Ghana Limited in Tema is the first of its kind, which ties in with the national vision for a 24-hour economy spearheaded by President John Mahama. Under this initiative, some selected TDC departments will operate round the clock, providing services such as search, certificates, certified true copy, offer letters, site plan, among others. Managing Director of TDC Ghana Limited, Courage Nusive says the era of undue delays due to bureaucracy, inefficiencies and impediments is over.
24-hour client support, including midnight enquiries, weekend walkthroughs, and real-time issue resolution. Round-the-clock support hub via phone, email, and chat, helping with long service requests and resolve issues efficiently. Prestige services that include home or office delivery and pickup of documents, on-site engagement by appointment, virtual support, and dedicated clients relationship managers. Ideal for executives, clients in the diaspora, and high net worth individuals. Indeed, because of what we offer, we have clients all over the globe.
Board Chair of TDC, Isaac Ashayo-Dampton, called on board members to support the new vision of TDC to help address the housing challenges.
The choice of this venue for the launch is both symbolic and real for us in Tema. Symbolic in the sense that the expectation of government and the ministry is to launch deep and plug the gap in the housing sector. And so TDC Ghana Limited, it's ready to launch even outside the original scope. And I believe with the confidence reposed in the managing director and the board, we are ready for the task ahead.
Meanwhile, Minister for Works and Housing, Kenneth Gilbert Ejay, lauded the initiative as it forms part of government's vision of modern responsive public service and resetting agenda.
Esteemed guests, urban development and housing extend beyond mere bricks and mortar. They embody the information of the lived experiences of our populace, including dignity, social equity, security, and opportunity. Housing constitutes the fundamental basis upon which communities flourish, economies grow, and social cohesion is cultivated. Against this backdrop, the initiation of TDC's new service suite ought to be regarded as a strategic response to the shifting requirements of a swiftly urbanizing Ghana.
Clients within Tema and Accra who request for TDC services are expected to receive their documents on the same day by dispatch, and courier services of the client's choice for those outside Accra and Tema. TDC has set a target to build 2,000 flats every year from 2026.
Moving on, governments across the world have been encouraged to incorporate the economic activities of refugees into their country's workforce to enable them to have decent jobs and live good lives. The appeal was made at this year's 2025 Refugee Economic Summit held in Accra. The summit was organized by World University Service of Canada's Dream Youth Advisory Committee, Mastercard Foundation, WUSC, and UNHCR. At the summit, participants emphasized the need to empower refugees by integrating them into the workforce. Speaking to Toy Business, the Executive Secretary of the Ghana Refugee Board, Tete Paddy, appealed for the process to get refugees' work permit to be simplified.
For the refugees, they are ready to be employed, so that is not a challenge. But the challenge is that the private sector must have a reason to employ a refugee over a Ghanaian national. And so clearly they have to compete, even though they also have the same skills or sometimes even better skills. It's a bit of a difficulty, particularly because the potential employer has to obtain a work permit, go through the process of obtaining a work permit, and all those other requirements. So it is not very straightforward, but we've worked with some private sector organizations, and the outcome has been positive, and some refugees have been employed, and there are a lot of success stories about refugees who have been employed by companies in Ghana.
The summit provided an opportunity to connect the stakeholders with diverse and sustainable economic opportunities, paving the way for self-reliance and greater integration across various sectors. Strategic Custodian Communications at Amahoro Coalition, Mercy Kusiwa Frimpong, appealed to the private sector to open their doors for refugees to gain decent jobs.
You see a lot of humanitarian organizations, but beyond what humanitarian organizations are providing, the statistics are clear. Africa is home to 1/3 of the world's refugees, right? And Africa's private sector play a very critical role in supporting economics, providing jobs, and just partnering with these refugees to just rebuild their lives with dignity. And so what we do at Amahoro is just to bring these private sector actors together to say that, okay, if you have these job opportunities available, how many of them can you sublet to people who have been displaced or refugees?
A refugee shared her experience in Ghana with Joy Business.
My name is Sophia Lenga. I am a refugee from Congo DRC. I've been in Ghana for the past 7 years. My coming to Ghana wasn't easy, and the decision of becoming a refugee, it wasn't something that I just dreamed of one day I'll become one, but due to life circumstances, led me to become one. And I've been fortunate to be part of some trainings that led me to develop my skill. And professionally, I'm a beautician and also a student. Currently, I am in university with Brigham Young University, Idaho. But for the meantime, I am on break because I needed to do something to support my education.
Moving on, the Minister for Youth Development and Empowerment, George Opari Addo, has reaffirmed the government's commitment to providing young people with the skills and platforms needed for sustainable and inclusive employment. Speaking at the launch of Inspire project, which seeks to create at least 1,620 direct jobs, with 35% for women and 1% for people with disabilities. Mr. Opari said there is a need to improve technical education and equip young people with market-relevant skills.
The Inspire project will focus on promoting the creation of decent jobs by increasing job offers through supporting the growth of Ghanaian SMEs and improving the skills of young people through 8 vocational training centers. The project, which will span 36 months, is expected to increase the competitiveness and workforce absorption capacity of 570 local SMEs. Speaking at the launch of the project, Minister for Youth Development and Empowerment, George Opari Addo, urged young people to leverage such opportunities to enhance their skills.
To our youth, our greatest national assets. I urge you to seize these opportunities presented by this project and our national programs that we are rolling out. The future of this country rests solely on your shoulders and in your hands. And we remain steadfast that in our commitment to equipping you with the tools, skills, and platforms that you need to thrive, you also make yourself available and leverage on these platforms to develop yourself. I reaffirm the ministry's unwavering support for the INSPIRE project and all similar efforts aimed at building and empowering self-reliant and a prosperous youthful population.
Country Manager for E4Impact, Xavier Agotimevo, details that through the project, SMEs can collaborate with larger corporations to grow their businesses.
There is a number of business services that will be provided. Not only business services, but mentoring as well. Training the entrepreneur alone is not enough. We need to be able to mobilize the resources that they need to be able to move forward. We are doing this through a number of engagements. One is the business services that we are going to roll out completely free for the entrepreneurs, the 570 SMEs that will be helping. And then secondly is the mentoring and also continuous training activities. One key factor that will play a great role in this is the Italian Innovation Center, which is designed specifically for those SMEs to collaborate with international businesses.
The INSPIRE project, which will see the establishment of an Italian Innovation Center at the University of Professional Studies, Accra, is funded by the Italian Agency for Cooperation and Development.
Meanwhile, there are calls for corporate institutions to channel more of their corporate social responsibility efforts into supporting technical and vocational education and training, that is the TVET, in Ghana. Founder of Nusive Foundation, Eli Kojo Agboche, said expanding TVET space is key to tackling unemployment and equipping the youth with practical skills. He made those remarks after donating mathematical sets to students in the Ekpede area of the whole West District Assembly as part of effort to encourage education and skills development.
I think the major challenge is finances, financial resources, because most of the resources or the money we put into this is coming from just the few members of this, our little foundation, Nusive Foundation. And to be frank or funny enough, Nusive in our means strength. So that is the whole. So most of the finances we are using for this project comes from the little resources we ourselves pull together. The community health screening we do for the people, the mass distribution. This is the third year we have been doing it, and this year we have done for 75 GHSs, which covers about 1,500 school kids. All those things, resources are coming from ourselves. So if we can get people to help us to expand or broaden our scope, we'll be glad.
That's all for business. For more business update, visit myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Winston Taki. Up next is Prime Sports.